What's going on, everybody? We got Phil the Burn here at RVA Iron Gym in Richmond, Virginia. Finally able to get him on camera.
Yes, sir.
Long-term friend. Also, he's the wellness coordinator of the VA, and he's also an award-winning professional bodybuilder. Phil, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Good to be here.
Glad to have you. How you been doing lately?
Pretty good, man. Just, working hard, doing what I got to do, focused on the mission.
Okay. What's the mission right now?
Right now, I do plan to get back on stage this year. Want to get back up there and make some more noise, Also, I'm a dad, so, be the best dad I can be. And also help people around me, man. I like to motivate and inspire.
Mm-hmm. How many kids do you have? One, two?
Just one, man. I got a baby girl. She's 3 years old. She's my everything, bro.
Okay.
For sure.
Shout out to the girl dads out there. How is it being a girl dad?
I feel like having a girl, so it's a little different than, having a son, For me, especially, she get whatever she want from me, bro. I feel like as a little boy, you still have that love for your child, but a girl, I don't know, it's just something about it, that opposite sex parent. Really, like I said, she just get whatever, man.
How's it been? Even though you're a girl dad, like what has it brought out of you now that she's here, she's walking now, things like that?
I feel like it directs your mission a little bit differently. At first, without a kid, you have this goal in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You still have it, but you have to redirect a little bit because you have to think about your little one. Now, I'm trying to build a legacy for her. It's not just me. Mm-hmm. So, I'm building this legacy to pass on to somebody.
Okay.
So it just makes things a little bit different.
How do you balance that? Like being a dad, still having a career, and then of course, which is a hard thing for a lot of people, is staying consistent in the gym, which seems like you never take a day off in the gym. So how do you balance all of that while keeping her, keeping the mission, mission focused?
Yeah, I think just like for anybody, you gotta stay disciplined. You got to make a priority of being there for your child, but at the same time, in order to be there for your child, you got to take care of yourself. So keeping that discipline with, keeping my body right is the main thing, man. Sometimes motivation wears off, and you just got to stay disciplined.
Would you ever push working out on her, even though you're big into fitness? Like, how does that work? Like, do you get the itch sometimes? Like, you want to do something fitness-like, or do you just let her, be a girl?
I think for any parent-child relationship, when they see your parent doing something, naturally they're gonna want to do it themselves. So it's never gonna be forced.
Gotcha.
But when she noticed that daddy's always in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Daddy's always active. She's automatically gonna want to do the same thing. Okay. Yep.
What got you into working out the way that you do? It's lifting weights, then it's bodybuilding. Like, what got you into wanting to be a bodybuilder, let alone be on stage?
So lifting weights started for me with football, man. Coming up, played Pee Wee, middle school, high school. Initially when you're going through school, they get you in that weight room. And then immediately I learned pound for pound, I'm one of the strongest guys in the room, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I kind of made that transition to getting into powerlifting, actually competing with the weights. I did suffer an injury going into college, and that kind of gave me a different aspect on learning what's next. And I added that food piece and got into bodybuilding.
Okay.
The aspect's a little bit different, when it comes to eating and training for it. But all in all, it's fitness. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What are the key differences with the way you eat in bodybuilding? Because you've powerlifted before.
Yeah.
So how does that how does that come into play? Eating for bodybuilding versus powerlifting.
Yeah. So bodybuilding is more strategic. Everything's measured and calculated. Powerlifting, there's no really limitations. There are for certain people. But you can eat as much as you want. You want to have all those carbs to be able to exert that energy when lifting that heavy weight. Bodybuilding, as you get closer and closer to the shell, your calories reduced because you're trying to get your body fat down. And it's really more about that look as opposed to being able to lift the weight.
Okay.
So powerlifting, like I said, is more about that action, having the energy to move it. Bodybuilding is more that aesthetic. So the food almost has to be calculated and narrowed down as you get closer to the shelf.
Why is that though? Because why do you have to break your diet based on, I guess, bodybuilding and powerlifting, but why can't you continue to eat like a bodybuilder and still, powerlift at the same time? Because I feel like, like you're saying, there's not too many restrictions on powerlifting, but can't people somehow go on a little unhealthy track as well, like with powerlifting?
You can, but also you have to think about like you're at risk for injury.
Okay.
If you're trying to go push this hard but don't have as much gas in the tank, issues come with that. Also, when you talk about optimizing your lifts and your performance, you want to have enough fuel in the system to be able to get those things done.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, being on stage, and I've been able to witness you, on stage, what does that mean, to you for your career? And how does that play into, attracting clients?
It's a big accomplishment for me. I feel like there's trainers worldwide, fitness influencers worldwide that can tell you what to do, guide you a certain way to get somewhere. But when people see you actually living the lifestyle yourself and actually getting to that 1 percentile of people that actually step on stage, it's a little different. You're motivated because you see your trainer not just telling you what to do, but he's living that lifestyle, trying to better himself as well.
Yeah.
So it makes I would say a significant difference. For sure.
So what, out of all of the lifting, is bodybuilding your favorite style to go to? Or like, what's your favorite style?
It's hard to say. I can't really say one I favorite more than the other. I like portions of all of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm always just about kind of looking for that next challenge, whether it's a powerlifting, strongman, bodybuilding. I've even thought about getting into some MMA classes. You know what I'm saying? It's just more for me. It's about, like I said, that next challenging, pushing myself to see what else I can accomplish.
Okay. So being a bodybuilder and seeing what you can accomplish, how does that tie into your job? So seeing patients, things like that, especially when it comes to like the excuses. Now I know they have problems, and you have a degree in exercise science.
Exercise science,
correct?
Yeah.
So how does all of that play into now, your actual career? Of what you're doing?
So my career in the hospital, I'm working in physical medicine, rehabbing patients. It's a difference between that clientele and your general population because the people coming to the hospital, they're suffering from something. They're feeling some type of pain, some type of limitation that they don't know what's going on. And they want this guidance to feel better, but they're feeling something, so they know they need it.
Gotcha.
When they have an appointment scheduled, they're gonna be there.
Right.
They have that pain that they're trying to get away from. Some not able to walk and they want to be able to walk again.
Gotcha.
Those type of people are usually more compliant with coming to their sessions versus in the gym, coming to a session just for like general goals.
Gotcha.
As far as me in that relationship with them, it's always the same. I want to see that person in the gym lose weight, build muscle, whatever their goal is. And on the rehab side of things, I want to be able to help them walk again, relieve pain, whatever the goal is on that. So it correlates. Like I said, on that rehab side thing in the hospital, they usually 9 times out of 10 gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Because they're dealing with some type of serious chronic issue or injury that they had in the past that they want to be able to keep living with.
Have you ever had someone that inspired you, like in that situation that you saw them in a very, I wouldn't say bad or critical situation, but someone that just, it seemed like it was out for them, and then all of a sudden it kind of shocked you, like, wow, like this person actually kept going, or, their whole body's changing, like they're walking again. Like, do you have a story like that you can recall?
Yeah, there's a number of stories, man, but one specific guy, and I was in Columbia, South Carolina, VA, at the VA hospital. Special Forces. He had a good career. You know, he would tell me stories and everything. But after his career, he got in a bad motorcycle accident.
Okay.
Was able to get back to that functional state, but after the accident, he had lost all vision in his eyes. So, you know, with this guy being Special Forces, he was pretty fit. You know what I'm saying? He's athletic, able to do a lot of things physically. And after this accident, losing his vision, there's a lot of mental aspect that came with that. He got really depressed, lost a lot of weight, and things was just going downhill.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I got him in the clinic with me, and we were able to work, do things with him. And he dropped 40 pounds, man. And the results of that, you know, he felt super ecstatic that he was able to, you know, not have his vision anymore, but kind of work towards a goal to be more functional, healthy, and live his life.
Got you. Shout out to the 40 pounds.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
40 pounds is not easy. And also, too, since I got you, I want to thank you, bro, because we've had our own personal journey as well, where I was 40 pounds or 50 pounds overweight. And within, I would say, less than a year, those 50 pounds were gone. But I can tell you one thing.
Man. You put in that work.
Definitely. It was inspiring the reason I wanted to ask you that question, because it inspired me by, you know, not because I'm a very driven, you know, individual, but it's rare that you have someone that is just as driven, but is also a goal. You get what I'm saying? And what I meant by that is not only mindset, but body goals.
Yeah.
You know, so I've had a 6-pack before, but then coming out of that, you know, experiencing life outside of the 6-pack, you don't get the looks, you know, the same looks. You don't feel as confident, you know, in yourself. And, you know, getting back into that. And I wanted to personally thank you, you know, man, for that, because you didn't have to do it, you know, but divine time, same area, miraculously, thank God, you were in the right area at the right time where we connected. And I just wanted to thank you, bro.
For sure, bro.
Because that was a very big pinnacle in my life. And even though I was doing great on other aspects of my life, it's just, you know, when you kind of look yourself in the mirror, you know, sometimes it's hard to deal with something that you know you've had before. And I'm going to tell y'all, it is hard, and I mean hard, to get back. He's never left it. You get what I'm saying? But it's hard to get.
We all fall off sometimes.
Right. But it is hard to push yourself and get back. So what I want to transition into is consistency. How important is that if someone is trying to reach a goal into the gym to make sure that, you know, not only are they mentally, but physically? How do you recommend someone to get more physically consistent versus mentally?
I would say to get consistent and remain consistent, start off slow. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people try to go 100 right from the beginning, and then eventually they fall off. So start off slow and know when to progress and regress, and also understand when your body needs to rest.
Gotcha.
But you can't do it all at once. I preach every day to clients and patients. It's more about frequency. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we did some stuff today, but we can't all get better today. You know what I'm saying? I need you to do stuff at home and for the next few weeks, and then know when to progress, you know, once you've been consistent with those initial beginnings.
How would someone know when to progress without a trainer? How can they progress?
That's really about getting in tune with your body. You have to, you know, your body has a good way of telling you things when it knows it needs something. So like when your eyes water, your brain needs some rest. Gotcha. When your nose running, I think it's more of like your, don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Your digestive system, it's something like that. But like I said, you know, even with pain, it's your body telling you something. And when you experience that, you have to know how to redirect as far as like regress on your workouts. Or if you're feeling good, you'll know to progress. So it's really about, like I said, getting in tune with your body.
Okay. Now you said something about injury earlier. What was the injury that you had to overcome?
Oh yeah, I had a torn ACL, MCL in my right knee. My initial goal, man, was none of this. I wanted to be an NFL running back, straight up. But going into college, that happened, and I had already experienced a torn labrum in my shoulder. I had actually, not worked out for like 6 to 8 months when that happened.
Gotcha.
Really got in a bad mental place at the time. But moving forward from there, I was able to get back to a baseline level. And I kind of used that to drive me to that next level. Went to school for exercise science and learned more about injuries and stuff like that. And that's how I felt like I kind of elevated my fitness, just from that knowledge and experiencing the injury myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. So exercise science, what is that based around? So people can know when people, because people most likely look at, people like yourself as just like personal trainers, but you actually have, a degree in exercise science. So for the viewers, let them know what that means versus just being a regular personal trainer.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. Nowadays, a lot of people can get away with being a fitness influencer or just, a trainer, but actually having a degree in exercise science, you have an understanding of the physiology and the anatomy of the body, which means, I can understand how the muscles actually attach to the bones and how that function when it comes to your nervous systems and movement. Also with your cardiopulmonary system and your digestive system, this gives you a better understanding of how to eat, how that digestive system works and how you burn calories. Anybody could tell you to work out more and eat less.
Right.
But when you actually understand the metabolic part, you can get to those goals a lot quicker and in a safer way.
Gotcha.
So as far as exercise science, like I said, it gives you a huge different look on anatomy and physiology of the body.
Gotcha.
And kind of pushes you to that next level in that type of way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's exciting because you can kind of offer more, which is great for your clients.
Yeah.
Speaking of clients, let's talk about them a little bit. How does that play into, have you found more satisfaction from your clients knowing like what you know? Like how have you seen, because of your knowledge level and your knowledge base and your background, how have you seen your clients' progression? Is it slower, faster? How can you gauge that?
I feel like it's faster. Most importantly, I feel like, I'm able to optimize their movement. And when I say that means is, know how to push them to that level with pain-free movements, what I'm saying? Not risking yourself for injury, but also pushing to that uncomfortable pain, what I'm saying? That burning sensation when you're lifting.
Gotcha.
A lot of people will feel pain, but they not really understand what it's coming from.
Gotcha.
And sometimes it can be detrimental. And your general trainer might, have you push through something and be causing more issues. But if I'm, working with you or watching your form, and I'm saying that's not functional, I'll know how to correct it to make sure you're optimizing that movement and getting the most out of the workout.
Gotcha. Have you ever had to correct a trainer that you see in the gym that's training another client? Have you ever stepped in?
Never actually stepped in.
Okay. Gotcha.
I've seen it all the time, and there's a lot of ego that comes with that. I've actually had to train some trainers when I worked in the corporate gym.
Gotcha.
And most of the time, when they hear me talk or see where I come from, they'll humble themselves and actually listen.
Okay.
But never actively stepped in between a trainer working with somebody and fixed them up. Yeah.
That would have been interesting. No disrespect, but you know. Okay. So what's going on in your life now? Are you training a lot of clients? Are you just, chilling on that? Like, are you in the gym more or?
So right now I do have a few clients online.
Okay.
I have a couple in person. And also, I'm going to be starting doing some meal prep here soon.
All right.
What I'm saying? Chefing it up, helping
Slash
people
chef.
with their food. But yeah, still full-time at the VA working as a rehab therapist.
Gotcha.
But before work, I'm getting my training in, and then after work, I have a few clients. And then when I have downtime, I get on the computer and make sure I take care of my online people as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
How have you liked training clients online versus hands-on?
It's definitely better in person.
Okay.
Just something about that in-person reaction, it makes a difference. But I understand I can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
Also, online gives you the opportunity to work with people out of state, out of the area. That way they can still tap in and get that knowledge even if we're not in person. But that in person is nothing like it, man. You know,
Okay.
you're just able to kind of, especially during the workout, just get them to push through a couple extra reps. You know what I'm saying? Give them that intentional motivation, and also just make sure they're staying disciplined with everything they're doing.
Do you think that discipline is one of the biggest challenges people have with online training, though you love being in person? What are some of the things that you're seeing or breakdowns as far as like clients that are having trouble? Maybe they are training online with a trainer. What on your end are you seeing that may be a problem that you can potentially help other trainers that are watching?
Yeah, online training, it's the biggest issue, of course, is compliance.
Right.
There's ways to hold people accountable, like if you want to set up video appointments, if you feel like they're not doing their workouts. Also, you want to make sure you're doing some type of weekly check-ins. The results aren't going to lie. If they're not eating their food, doing their workouts, nothing's going to be changing. Okay. I would say, for people that have online and struggling with compliance with their people, just remind them that, they're not cheating you, they're cheating themselves.
Right.
So, they're paying for the services. It's up to them to get it done.
Get it done.
But I would say, to make sure you're doing your weekly check-ins just to kind of keep them compliant with everything. And then also, make sure you can be face-to-face with them. Maybe set up a video appointment. So even if you're not in person, you're able to kind of get that interaction.
Gotcha.
Doing those videos appointments or even a video workout.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One question for the viewers and those that are local in the DMV area, what does it take to get Phil in the gym with you? If someone wants in-person training right now, what is it going to take?
Okay.
Because it doesn't do it for everybody, I promise you. Based on time, family, things like that. But what will it take if someone was interested in working out with you? Let them know.
Definitely hit me up on the socials, Phil_TheBurn. I always offer everybody one free session. So you can message me up there. We can lock in, get that session done, and then we can talk about moving forward and how to help you reach those goals.
Okay. So before we wrap, what's next for you? What do you got on your plate right now?
Definitely plan to, like I said, get back on stage, man. That's definitely a goal for 2026 this year. And also just to keep pushing this business. I want to be able to touch as many people as I can, whether it's in the 7'5", 804, or, anywhere in the States, worldwide, what I'm saying?
Right.
Tap in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, bro, I wanted to thank you for the interview today, bro.
For sure.
It's great to be able to highlight you. Great for also to the viewers. If you are interested in serious training, if you are ready to actually change your life, be consistent, and actually benefit from something in the working out department, in the health and wellness, I don't see too many people in this space. Actually, you're the only person that I know with those type of accolades, where you're a bodybuilder, powerlifter, also certified NASM personal trainer, shout out to that, and then also a degree in exercise science with a focus in kinesiology. So if you're looking for someone who has cracked the code on how to build your body, PTB, Phil_TheBurn, is your guy. So that's a wrap for today. I want to thank you again for finally, us being able to connect, not only in the gym, but actually here highlighting you today. And it's been a pleasure, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you having me, dog.
And we about to go get some work in, got to get a session in anytime that we together. So we about to record some more content as well. So y'all stay on the lookout. It's the Coffee Club, baby, where we're going to wake you up with the content, and we're going to bring you great people, on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. But today we in the gym. So shout out to RVA Iron for hosting us today, and allowing them us to use their space. And again, like I said, bro, it's a pleasure, bro.
For sure.
All right.